following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into Reaction Monday on Main Street Sports today. Well, we'll get our thoughts on the weekend's biggest moments in sports, and there are a lot of them. Also, we'll visit with Charles Pullium of the Williamson Herald. Got girls flag football that debuted yesterday. Also, we'll have the Athletics' Joe Rexrode. That's, again, from the website and sports information guru there. Also, we will have the Rundown Plus, as we do on Mondays, our quick takes, and plenty of those as well. All that straight ahead, Reaction Monday, Main Street Sports today on this Monday, March the 28th, 2022. Now to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome in. It is Monday, and we are going to get right into it. Let's jump in because we have so much to get to in this show, but we have the longest rundown in the history of rundowns, at least since last Monday anyway. So we got to get into it. We've got results from high school sports and college sports and pro sports from across the state, and today's schedule will tell you how you can watch games. You can go to a game. We'll even tell you what time they are today. So lots going on. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today's rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today. All right, let's get into it. As Chris mentioned, a very busy rundown. High school baseball over the weekend. Northwest over Oakdale. It was Knox West downing Northwest. Clay County defeated Westmoreland. East Robertson winners over Cumberland County. Riverdale fell to Bob Jones from Alabama. IMG Academy 5-4 over Riverdale. Spring Hill fell to Blackman. Stewart's Creek over DCA 8-7. Beach Big over Smith County 15-2. Culleoka shut out by Eagleville. It was Fairview 15-1 over Mount Pleasant. Giles County down to Lawrence County 8-5. West Creek over Hillwood. Lebanon fell to Stewart's Creek. Loretto lost by a single run to Florence from Alabama. St. Rita, Illinois shut out Station Camp. Sycamore, big fallers. That makes a lot of sense. Portland won big. We'll put it that way, 17-2. Wilson Central over Gallatin 8-7. It was Brentwood doubling up Ravenwood. Page over Centennial. Columbia Central over Laverne. Clarksville falling to Independence, but then shutting out Siegel. It was Dixon County falling to the Knights 10-0. Collierville over Creekwood shutting them out 10-0. Pope Prep 5-4 over Dyer County. CAK 6-1 over Northeast. It was Columbia Academy 8-3 over Waverly. Ezel Harding 20-2 over Lighthouse Christian. Those were Friday scores. Looking at Saturday, Sevier County over East Robertson. Maryville down Northeast. Seymour also defeated Northeast in a high-scoring action, 17-13. Greenbrier over Watertown, 6-5. East Robertson falls to Ohatchee from Alabama. Oakland over Centennial. Brother Rice from Illinois defeated Riverdale. Monteverde over Riverdale as well. It was Smyrna falling to Nolensville. Summertown defeated Smyrna 8-1. Stewart's Creek over St. Rita from Illinois. Upperman down Mount Juliet. Fairview fell to the Knights. It was Greenbrier 14-1 over Gallatin. Mount Juliet by a run over Upperman. Mount Juliet falls to Beach 12-1. Wilson Central over Station Camp. Blackman defeated Columbia Central. Independence downed Rockville. Summit over Siegel. Gibbs defeated Northwest. Dyer County over Dixon County. Rossview over Laverne. And Rossview also over Siegel. Other Saturday scores. Christian Brothers 16-5 over Greenbrier. Lipscomb Academy 4-2 over Innsworth. Henry County defeated Pope Prep. CPA shut out BGA. It was Clarksville Academy falling to the Knights. Clarksville Academy did defeat Fairview. Columbia Academy down Hillwood, and DCA over DeKalb County. High school softball from Friday. Dixon County winners over DeKalb County. Stewart's Creek over DeKalb. Green Hill over DeKalb as well. Marshall County defeated Page. Spring Hill fell to Tullahoma. Upperman over Portland. Colioca defeated Fairview. Colioca also fell to Waterloo from Alabama. It was Green Hill over Stewart's Creek. Loretto big over Collinwood. Summertown with a pair of wins over Bloomington, Illinois, and Florence, Alabama. They did fall to Castle from Indiana, 5-1. Wilson Central over Watertown. Columbia Central defeated Laverne. Clarksville Academy over Montgomery Central. Clarksville over Montgomery Central. They also defeated Stewart County, and Columbia Academy 1-0 over Waverly. On Saturday, Columbia Central 4-2 over Zion Christian. Blackman fell to South Elgin from Illinois. Blackman did defeat Science Hill. Macon County over East Nashville. It was Riverdale 11-7 over Floyd Central from Indiana. Rockville with a pair of wins over Rogers from Alabama. Butler from Kentucky. Siegel did defeat Rogers from Alabama. It was Siegel also winning over White County. Colioca over Perry County. Nashville Christian defeated Colioca. Dixon County falls to Green Hill. Springfield over Green Hill 4-1. Nolensville down Summertown 8-7. Science Hill also defeated Summertown 8-6, and Summertown fell to Smyrna as well 12-5. Lexington shutting out Rockville, CPA over Ravenwood, and Clarksville with 4 wins over Cheatham County, Westview, Covington, and East Robertson. On Sunday, Mount Juliet over Henry County, Nolensville over Henry County, and then today, earlier already, Columbia Academy 2, Hartselle from Alabama 1. On the pitch, Friday boys soccer, Dobbins Bennett shutting out Page, South Doyle the same to Beach, Laverne also shutting out Cookeville. Wilson Central 2-1 over Merrill High. Watertown 7-2 over Westmoreland. Gallatin 2-1 winners over White House Heritage. Giles County defeated Loretto 5-3. Murfreesboro Central 2-1 over Woodmont from South Carolina. Boyd Buchanan defeated CPA. BGA down Nashville Christian on Saturday. Chucky Doak 4-2 over East Robertson. Gallatin 2-1 over White House. Pope Prep 4-1 over Murfreesboro Central. Or they won. Is that a 1? A 0. It doesn't matter. Pope Prep 1. Boyd Buchanan 4-1 over Innsworth. Murfreesboro Central 4-1 over Greenville. That was a Sunday score. NCAA Women's Tournament. Louisville, the 1 seed, down. Tennessee ended their season. And the career for Mickey Dearstone, who you heard here on Friday's show. South Carolina in college baseball defeated Vanderbilt 2-1 in that series. Tennessee swept the number 1 ranked Ole Miss Rebels in Oxford. I'm sure we'll talk about that. MTSU took 2 out of 3 down at UAB. Central Arkansas took 2 of 3 versus Lipscomb. Austin P 2 out of 3 over Belmont. Tribeca 3 out of 4 over Hillsdale. And Jackson State in JUCO took 2 out of 3 over Columbia State. College softball, Tennessee took 2 out of 3 over Florida. Marshall swept the Blue Raiders of MTSU. Lipscomb took 2 out of 3 over Florida Gulf Coast University. Belmont swept Southern Illinois University in Evanston. It was Tennessee State taking 2 out of 3 over Eastern Illinois. And in Division II, Trevecca tied Malone and also tied Walsh. Both of those 1-1 scores. Is that correct?
No, it was they split
1
2
game.
game
Sorry.
series.
Yes.
Yeah, doubleheaders.
Continue what I've been doing, and these are not scores. These are games won in a series. They split those doubleheaders, Trevecca with Malone and Walsh. Thank you very much. JUCO softball, it was Jackson State and Columbia State splitting a 4-game set. NBA, Grizzlies over the Bucks. That's a big win, 127-102. And the Preds down the Flyers, 5-4. No 6 goals in that one, but a win nonetheless. On the slate today, high school baseball. At 3 o'clock coming up, we got Northeast at Clarksville, 4:30, Antioch at Smyrna at 5. Joe Burns hosts Greenbrier. These games are 5:30 first pitch. Perry County at Zion Christian, Cannon County versus Westmoreland, Hampshire at Richland, Springville hosting Rossview, DCA at Easel Harding. At the stroke of 6 bells tonight, Lawrence County at Lincoln County, McGavock hosting Hillwood, Collinwood over Santa Fe, Colioca at Wayne County, and Clarksville Academy hosting Good Pasture. And at 6:30 tonight, Spring Hill at Page. Stewart's Creek hosts Laverne White House Heritage at Fairview. Mount Pleasant is at Giles County at Sam Davis Park tonight. Lewis County at Loretto, Columbia Central at Nolensville, and Ravenwood host Blackman. On the dirt, softball, 5 o'clock first pitch, Riverside Christian at Zion Christian, Macon County versus Friendship Christian, Westmoreland, and Green Hill. Fairview and Waverly East Harding at Davidson Academy. At 5:30 tonight, Stewart's Creek at Antioch, Summertown at Forest. Joe Burns hosts Logan County from Kentucky, and Mount Juliet welcomes Dixon County. At 6 tonight, Smyrna's at Laverne, Springfield hosts Gallatin, and at 6:30, Blackman at Shelbyville, Lincoln County at Spring Hill, Columbia Central under the lights will welcome Franklin County. And at 7, primetime softball tonight, Marshall County at Lawrence County. And at the Gulf Shores Classic down in Alabama, a 2 p.m. should be underway. It is Columbia Academy and Cherokee County, I'm assuming from Alabama.
Yes.
Boys soccer today, 5:30. First touch, Lebanon at Watertown. 6 o'clock, Richland at Zion Christian. East Robertson hosting Portland Jackson County. At Westmoreland, Spring Hill versus Lincoln County. College baseball today, Division I, Austin P at Belmont.
Sorry, delete all of that.
Delete all that. Are we done?
Nobody's playing college baseball today, or softball for that matter.
Okay, NCAA women's basketball. MTSU is at Toledo. 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN3. This is the round of the Elite Eight of the WNIT. And in the association, it is the Grizzlies hosting Steph Curry and the Warriors tonight on Beale Street on NBA TV.
Which means it's nationally televised.
It is nationally televised. And that will do it for your Monday Rundown, brought to you by Zion Christian Academy.
We did it. Got it under the bell, too. Well done. Let's take a break. Our first break of the day, and I'm
sure JP could use one.
I'm sure he could.
Break, what?
And we will talk to Charles Pullium on the other side because, well, he's Charles Pullium, and if there's anything we don't know, he does. And he's just back from the Alaskan State Basketball Championships.
There you go.
Where he was on the call as he normally is. So that's always fun too. So we'll talk to him because, well, he's been everywhere, right? So come back with us on Main Street Sports today on this Reaction Monday. We'll get to reactions right after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back into Reaction Monday here on Main Street Sports today. Chris Yow, Mo Patton, JP Plant with you here, and oh, what a fantastic weekend it was in the world of sports. We'll get to all of the things that have happened, but including yesterday when the debut of the Girls Flag Football League took place. 3 different sites across the county of Williamson. Mo was at Fairview, and I guess as Charles was at Nolansville. Is that the other one?
Nolansville was one.
Oh, so
Franklin was another one, but
Gotcha.
Charles was at Fairview as well.
Oh, Charles, you were at Fairview? Man,
Yeah,
you had to
maybe
hang
correct
out with
too.
Mo?
Well, he tends to hang on. I'm more the soccer side of things, so I don't want the sun in my face. He's trying to soak up the sun because he gets pretty cold out there.
There's no
There
doubt.
he goes.
There's
There
no
he
doubt.
goes, man. Mr. Alaska himself. He was
Well
out
done,
there.
well done, Charles.
Yeah,
well done, buddy.
He was out there in shorts yesterday.
Well, I mean, we're in March. It's short weather, guys. We're in Tennessee. Come on now.
Charles, as Chris said, we were both at the Girls Flag Football League debut. What was your one takeaway from yesterday?
Oh, I think there was a lot of takeaways from it, but really it was the conversation with Chris Hughes afterward that really stood out. Because Chris has been a vocal supporter, and you name it, he's the Tom Brady of flag football in itself. And seeing him get to coach girls on his home field, I mean, that was just special. And then obviously, I know you and I were kind of joking with him a little bit because his wife Stephanie is an assistant, and Stephanie's played on a lot of the co-ed teams for Chris over the years too. So just seeing those two working and sharing their passion for flag, that's pretty cool. And then on top of that, getting to see some of the athletes I've been seeing in all these other sports come together, that's just kind of cool. I think I guess ultimately seeing athletes from different aspects. You got your soccer players, you got your soccer players, you got cheerleaders all mixing together in one sport and one team. That's just kind of neat. I enjoyed seeing that, and I think it's going to be entertaining Sundays for a while here.
I don't know if you noticed it, or I don't know if I'm overplaying it, but it felt like to me, Charles, that as the games went, those young ladies got a lot more confident in what they were doing.
I think that's definitely a given there. I mean, and that kind of showed in that last game we got to see was that was Summit and Fairview at the end there, right? Or was it Independence and Fairview?
No, it was Summit Fairview.
But
starts to run together after a while.
Yeah, exactly. But that third game, it was just a good matchup. Nobody could score for a long time there, and big plays happening, but nobody could actually get into the end zone because I think people were starting to figure stuff out. And I know all those coaches are going back, and now practice has got to be entertaining because they actually have things to work on. Because it's like now when we're out there on Sunday, this is what we did. This is what we got to work on. This is why this didn't work. I think it's just going to get exponentially better and then more flowing. You name it, everything from officials to coaching to players just knowing what they're doing a little better. And we saw that in a matter of a couple hours.
Absolutely. Out at Fairview yesterday, Fairview defeated Independence 19-6. Independence defeated Summit 7-6 in overtime as Chase Bethman scored the game-winning point in overtime. It's a there's a lot of, as you could imagine, a lot of different things in flag football, and one of them is in overtime. Overtime is a one-play possession where you can get 1 point if you score from the 3-yard line or 2 points if you score from the 10-yard line. Independence chose to go on defense first, stopped Summit from the 3, and then they ran their play from the 3. Bethman lined up at quarterback and swept around the left side for 3 yards and the win. And then Fairview finally scored to defeat Summit 6-0. So defensive struggle there in that last ball game, but again, lots of big plays over the course of the day. Not all of them resulted in touchdowns. One of the biggest was in that final game. Lily Driscoll for Summit coming up with a red zone interception and nearly taking it the length of the field before getting her flag snatched at around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Summer Anderson, one of the standouts of the day for Fairview, pulled like a DK Metcalf move where she diagonaled, 60 yards and found a way to catch up. I mean, I thought that was a pick six for sure. And nope, the girl who threw it found a way to cut across and get her just beyond or just before the the touchdown there. That was one of those plays. That's actually, I'm working on a video right now where I'm trying to do maybe a top 5 plays from each game right now. It's just, it's new for me to cover a new sport. So I'm trying to approach it a little differently and being there and taking some video and taking a lot of photos, things like that. I think doing more of a highlight style thing might be good to get things going anyway. So, because I'm still learning and figuring stuff out there too, because, you're on an 80-yard field. Everything's kind of condensed a little more. There's a lot of rules to be figured out still on my end too.
Oh, no question. Nobody does it better though than Charles Pullium of the Williamson Herald with us here on Main Street Sports today. And I look forward to that highlight package because there were plenty of them.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the thing. And, as they got comfortable, as you said there, I think that was the great takeaway is seeing, from that first game and even the girls getting to watch that first game. It's just a better confidence feel out there. I think one of the things that is kind of interesting looking across and seeing how all these teams within Williamson County have had so many girls come out. It's still a 7-on-7 setup out there, and there's figuring out who you're going to have out on the field consistently, and knowing that you still have 25 other girls ready to go. I mean, that's the coaching side of things where I think it'll be kind of entertaining to see how everyone gets to go. But, going back to media day, we were talking with Emily Crowell of the TSSAA, Josh Corey of the Tennessee Titans, same kind of thing about how when you get started, I mean, eventually you could have those JVs, those C teams, all that can get set up, but it's a matter of figuring things out still. And we're in that figuring out stage. That's for sure.
Charles, did you notice anything specific about, the level of play from maybe Fairview versus other teams? Because Chris Hughes does have that background. We all know about it. I mean, it certainly seems that while some teams are still figuring it out, Chris just has to kind of put that in his girls' ears. And I guess it was Independence who said that they played a lot of zone, or and Fairview's playing zone defense in flag football, and that's got to be something that you weren't expecting if you were other teams. So that gives them a little bit of a leg up, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think so. And that was, seeing some of the switches and everything, and it's just with what Chris was saying, it's almost like a timing thing for them because his girls are just so antsy to do something. Even they were trying to snap the ball when nobody's in any kind of set or anything like that. So, everyone's still learning there. But in terms of how he was able to, I think, teach over these last couple of weeks and just a handful of practices they've been able to do, he's the one that's been doing it for, more than 3 decades, I want to say here. So he's got it down and he's got some players in that. I know Summer Anderson was one of the girls who jumped after me. Lillianne, let's see, McElroy was another girl. I mean, he's got some studs out there. And then, of course, there's other girls. Riley Dillingham played a lot of basketball as well. And she's kind of like a Sydney Wright for Summit, where she could do a lot of big things there and just kind of hold a line in a way. If you come at her, she's going to, get that flag as well. But some speed there. I think McElroy's a kind of player that, Chris actually talked about when I interviewed him. He was kind of like, I think if we put some pads on her, you probably wouldn't tell if we were running drills. If she tucks away her ponytail, she's just one of the guys out there. She's eager to play. She's an athlete. She plays goalie for the girls soccer team as well. And at the same time, we watched her accidentally run over a couple girls out there too.
Definitely accidentally.
Yeah,
accidentally on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. You try to shy away from some of that contact in a way, but I think there's a couple girls we've seen. And looking on the other side, I know at Ravenwood, Kaylin Thomas, returning state champion here, the senior. She plays rugby. She's on track and field. She's doing 3 sports right now. she's another one of those girls where it's like, oh, whoa, didn't mean to run you over, but if you're in my way, I'm just going to keep going.
Also a state girls wrestling champion, Kaylin Thomas. So
yeah. Oh, I know.
So
Yeah.
contact,
But
not a big deal.
She's looking for it.
No. And that, yeah, exactly. And that's, you look around and seeing around the county, it's, I have to find a way to probably see that Ravenwood team play right away, because they seem like some of the favorites here early on. They're putting up a lot of points there. Coach Will Hester, Jessica Mancini. They have some athletes out there, some studs. A lot of D1 athletes. Sarah Kate Rath, who's going to play soccer at Cincinnati. Allie Brown's going to play soccer at Tennessee. We just talked about Kaylin Thomas, a three-sport athlete who is all about the physicality. I mean, and then, Sarah Kate Rath and Kennedy Riggs actually split time at quarterback. They combined for 8 touchdowns in that first game against Nolensville in a big blowout. So that seems like the team right there. But the Fairview girls were fun to watch. We saw some great things from Summit. I think I really liked a lot of their defensive side of things, and they have a solid quarterback there too. So there's going to be some fun games in the future here for sure.
Out at Nolensville, as Charles mentioned, Ravenwood defeated the host Lady Knights 48-0 and defeated Brentwood 40-6 in the other game out there. Brentwood scored on the final play of the game and got the conversion for a 27-26 win over Nolensville. At Franklin, the Lady Admirals defeated Centennial 13-7. It was Page 19, Centennial 14, and Franklin with the 18-6 win over Page. So Fairview, Franklin, and Ravenwood are each 2-0. Independence, Page, and Brentwood are 1-1. And then Summit, Centennial, and Nolensville are 0-2 going into next week's schedule. And we have that schedule up on the website at mainstreetmurray.com if you want to check that out, along with our coverage of yesterday. Charles, where do you think you're going to be posting up this week, or are you going to be posting up this week?
Well, that's the thing, kind of looking around. I mean, if I'm going somewhere, I think for girls flag football, it'd probably be at that Ravenwood setup, because then you get to see Franklin and Ravenwood go head to head. And, it's Franklin, Indy, and Ravenwood at Ravenwood. And, to see the 2-2-0 teams kind of go at it would be kind of interesting. Also kind of want to see Donnie Webb back out on sidelines there as well. He's got a daughter who's playing and actually scored a touchdown yesterday. So it'll be kind of cool to see the Webb family set up out there. And, lots of great girls on both sides there that have been covering in all these different sports for so long. I know Charlotte Robertson's a big standout there. Emma Nihil, there's just a lot of girls that have been following in all these different sports. And now they're all playing on one team. And it's just a lot of fun to kind of watch.
No question there. Charles, welcome back to Tennessee after your trip to Alaska for the basketball championships. Glad to have you back here. It's always fun when you are here in town, but I know you enjoy your time up in Alaska and getting to be on the call for those championship games. That's always fun, huh?
Well, that's the thing. I ended up, I wasn't able to be there with my dad, and we're planning for a couple tournaments next year, actually. But I was actively, managing our social media, and it's kind of weird because I didn't get to go. I was going to go do some freelance stuff over for the boys' state tournament here locally as well. But instead, I was able to take it a little easy there for a couple days, which was nice. But missing out on actually covering in Alaska was pretty challenging, but I know my dad and I are trying to figure out how we could manage to make sure to be up there and give the best we can for all the small rural schools in Alaska next year. But I was, I
there are small rural schools in Alaska?
Know a lot of stats, man.
Was unaware.
Yeah, it fits a little differently there, huh? Yeah, there was at the state tournament, there were 2 5-person teams up there, put it that way.
Sheesh.
Oh, my goodness.
And remember, this is the 1A state tournament. The small schools up there, it's a 16-team double elimination tournament.
Double elimination.
16-team double elimination.
Oh, goodness.
Does that
it's
take
a monster, guys.
So that team coming out of the losers bracket.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Heck, even if
Yeah.
you win all your games, that's got to be tough.
You're playing multiple games over about 5 days there. So yeah, it is massive, but it's a lot of fun. And one of the high school I actually graduated from, the Nilsick High School, played up a level in 2A and won the state championship. So a shout out to the Wolverines up there, and some close friends of the coaches there. So neat to see the Nilsick boys win another state title. And a little different because they were made up of almost a couple surrounding communities. So some of our rival schools were actually a part of that team. So it was a little different.
Oh, I can imagine. Charles Pullium of the Williamson Herald with us here on Main Street Sports Today. Charles, as always, appreciate your time and your input, and look forward to hanging out again sometime.
We'll be around, man. There's a lot happening here. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing here for this next setup. I think I'm going to go hang out at softball out at Summit tomorrow, and maybe check a baseball game out at Independence. There's a lot happening.
Never a dull moment when you're Charles Pulliam.
Never, not once.
Never.
Charles, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you around.
When we come back, we will talk about some basketball that you got to see over the weekend, and Governor Lee has some thoughts on
Not about basketball.
on a stadium for
maybe basketball.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today right after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
What better way to start your morning every weekday with all the latest news from around Middle Tennessee with Big Joe Dubin. Join Big Joe and Justin, affectionately called the intern, each weekday at 7 a.m. for the most up-to-date news and more from around the entire mid-state. It's mornings on Main Street. Big Joe Dubin, 7 a.m. on all Main Street social media platforms.
Mo, until April 1st, well, till March 31st, there isn't, guaranteed to be something on this day in Braves history, but there is something today. Go figure.
Today is March 28th.
Today is March 28th, and it's not really Braves history. It's actually just Braves legend history.
Okay.
But it's 4 days shy of his 47th birthday. Phil Niekro's 24-year Hall of Fame career ended when the Yankees placed him on waivers at the end of spring training.
Wow.
Yep. So
Wow. I did not remember that being the way it ended for Negro, with him getting released out of spring training. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, you kind of want to go out on your terms if you're a Hall of Famer. But yeah, it is what it is. But so
why do you release a knuckleballer? What?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Yeah.
Starting Thursday, we can do this daily. So if you would like to rekindle the flame
I'll have to start working those various avenues that we were working to come up with that info, because I found one at the beginning of the year and then it became a little unreliable as the year went.
Right.
And so I was kind of left to my own devices on some things. And if you would like to sponsor this day in Braves history here on Main Street Sports Today, if you're a Braves fan and you'd like to get a little exposure, get at us. We can be reached.
That's right. It's real easy.
It really is.
Tweet, email, call us, beep us if you want to reach us. Kim Possible. Anyway, let's go backwards in time from Sunday to Saturday, as you were out in Lebanon, right?
I was,
for the BCAT All-Star Games, and obviously getting to see high school basketball players of that caliber playing against one another is essentially getting a chance to, to see what college basketball is going to look like over the next few years for local products, and seemed to be a pretty good day.
Let me tell you something. Malik Dia from Ainsworth is the real deal. Scored 40 in Middle Tennessee's 72-71 win over West Tennessee. And then I think he scored 23, slacker, in the second game, an 85-84 loss to the East. And then dude and Paxton Davidson from Green Hill both went and played in a public-private high school all-star game Saturday night down in Nashville.
Dang.
Yeah.
Can never play too much hoops, I guess.
I guess not. But, when you're having, like I said, the kind of day that Dia was having, I guess you want to keep playing.
There's that.
Yeah.
Especially when folks are, which, I mean, obviously he's not going to worry about his future, but.
No. But, it's kind of like a text exchange I was having with Columbia Central coach Nick Campbell later on. I mean, you kind of saw what an SEC signee looks like at the high school level.
Which is, it's important, especially for, folks who are watching, and we're reporting on it, but we're also, I mean, this is kind of an opinion show. So we certainly give our opinions on the level of play from certain athletes, and it's important to know what it looks like at the high school level, not just seeing it where everybody looks like that, at the SEC level. You need to see them and how dominant they really are,
or can be
at that level.
Yeah. And it was almost like he could score whenever he wanted to. And, down around the basket, in the paint, that kind of thing. He's a good sized kid, strong kid. But then when he takes you out behind the arc and knocks down like 3 in a row, like he did at one point as well, it's like, whoa, okay. He's kind of the total package. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does at Vanderbilt. That was the first time I'd had a chance to see him. Of local interest, obviously, local to the Columbia/Murray County area. Q Martin scored 9 points in the first game, 10 in the second, and kind of showing why Columbia State has made him an offer that he has accepted. And, great opportunity for him to go play for Winston Neal, but at the same time, you got to wonder what some of these 4-year programs are thinking.
as good as we thought the Columbia State program was over the last couple of years, and they've been really good, they got 3 really good basketball players just from the southern Middle Tennessee area.
With less, right around an hour, I guess, depending on how long it takes you to get to Loretto, because Tobias Sermones has committed. Bubba Perkins has committed. They got some length. They got some guys that, even for their height can step away from the basket. I mean, Bubba Perkins played primarily the 2, I guess, for Nick Campbell and the Lions this year. Sermones is very effective around the rim, but he can also step away. So again, looking forward to seeing what those 3 guys and who else joins the Chargers for the upcoming season, what they get done this time around. I mean, I think Coach Neal has kind of elevated that program to another level. They expect to play for, conference championships and trips to Hutch. They actually won that conference tournament back in 2020 and were unable to go because of the COVID outbreak and have fallen short this last couple of years since. But they are in that mix in the TCCAA of teams that expect to play for Hutchinson on a year-to-year basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's hope that continues. And again, on the girls' side, Carly Weathers also played really well.
Oh, yeah.
And
no
surprise
there.
Yeah, she's the SEC signing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there you go. But all right, let's take a quick break and come back. We'll do halftime and then the second half where we'll talk March Madness, college baseball. We'll talk with Joe Rexrode and get our 30-second takes. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in. It is halftime, and we pretty much have to talk about the slap heard around the world. I mean, there's no – what else would we talk about? Because Will Smith sent shockwaves across the nation, and a lot of folks saying that it might not have been real. It was, in fact, just to get folks like us to talk about it, Mo.
Oh, and mission accomplished, I guess, if that was the case then. But, yeah.
It was crazy.
And
it was the only thing that I saw. I don't watch the Oscars. JP watches the Oscars because apparently his Jody is
she's an Oscar
quite
fan.
interested.
Yeah, the red carpet too. But yeah, we were watching and I saw it live. I had to rewind it.
How did that react? Like you saw it live. I saw it on Twitter, so I didn't get to.
So you knew what was coming, yeah.
But were you confused?
I was absolutely confused, and shows like this are on a delay, a slight delay. So it the audio went out because they were covering up what Will Smith was saying in the room, and so you saw the slap, and then all of a sudden the audio goes out, and Chris Rock is just kind of standing there, and by the time his audio comes back, he says, well, that was just the greatest night in television history. And they go on. So I wasn't really sure. And I jumped on Twitter to try to find out, and as I kept going along, yeah, it was for real. And it happened.
Wild.
It was the strangest thing I've ever seen on an award show. Much more strange than Kanye coming out on Taylor
and
Swift.
that was a high bar.
That was, yeah. But Kanye didn't hit anybody.
No, exactly. So someone said Tanya Harding felt that Will Smith crossed the line. Okay. Hold on now.
There are a number of people who feel like Will Smith crossed the line.
I am not among those. I would just like to point that out in the event that you're all wondering. I have opinions. I'm not afraid to share them, and I do not believe he crossed the line.
Yeah.
I think he met it with the exact amount of response that was necessary for what happened. Anyway,
I'm not sure exactly where I am on it, but I am intrigued by the number of, and I don't know how much trouble this will get me in, but I'm intrigued by the number of women that are taking issue with Will Smith's action, because defending my honor, quote, is typically a big thing in relationships.
A lot of folks don't need no man these days, and that's the way that's. I mean, even Sarah, I don't need no man. She's when she does something at the house on her own, I need you to open this, and then she'll get it open. I don't need no man. So I mean, maybe that's kind of the feminist movement is moving toward.
Maybe so. I don't know.
I don't need you to fight my battles, kind of thing.
I just feel like if someone were ridiculing not just my woman per se, my mom, my sister, my daughter, over a physical condition, it might pop off too. So, I don't know.
Well, regardless of which side, of the slap you stand on, what it did do is take away from everything else that happened that night. There were some historical things that were happening that night, and unfortunately, they just get overshadowed.
But I'm just gonna throw this out there. Nobody cared.
Listen, it's Hollywood, it's entertainment, so they're gonna take this and run with it and have better ratings.
What I'm saying is, I would have never seen anything on my timeline about the Oscars, and there are a boatload of other people just like me who would have never seen anything about the Oscars on
it went mainstream because of
other than this.
Yeah,
there's
no question.
There are a lot of people who care about the Academy Awards, but now it's everybody cares about this particular Oscars because of this. So I wouldn't have even known that Will Smith won a Best Actor if this hadn't happened.
Well, his winning wasn't the one that was. There were other
Coda,
historical,
Apple TV, winning was it Best Picture?
Yeah,
the streaming service,
and for the first time they had an all-black production crew in charge for the Oscars. Yeah, Will Patrick, I think is his name, was the producer, and so the core small crew that was producing this show was all black for the first time. There's a big deal about that. So there were just a lot of things that it is what it is. It's Hollywood, and we're talking about it that we otherwise would not have been talking.
Meanwhile,
zero question. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the memes have gone wild on social media, and one of them has the 2023 Oscars being hosted by Jerry Springer. So.
Not bad.
So definitely wouldn't be Maury Povich because he's retired.
Well, he's got time now.
He's got time. He can do it. Oh man, let's take a break. When we come back, the second half on Main Street Sports Today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Second half action here on Main Street Sports today. Coming up, we'll talk with Joe Rexrode from The Athletic, get his takes on March Madness and other items. We'll have our own thoughts on March Madness as the Final Four is in place for the men. The women will conclude tonight with 2 more Elite 8 games, and our quick reactions to the weekend and other sports topics coming up as well. All in the second half here on Main Street Sports today. Now back to the Hall of Famer in his true blue, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama. Captain Chaos always sides on the chaos. That's his MO, and he lives it. Chris, gentlemen.
What a phenomenal weekend it was for college basketball and for my pocketbook on Friday night anyway. March Madness, obviously, with the Final Four set for the first time ever. Duke and North Carolina will meet in the tournament. So there's that. In case you weren't aware, in case you haven't been scrolling Twitter and every person in America saying that. Kind of sad to see North Carolina beat St. Peter's, but also it certainly would there have been some intrigue with Duke and St. Peter's? Sure. Is there now far more intrigue with first-year coach, last-year coach going at it, and the way that those 2 regular season meetings went?
Particularly the last one.
Last one.
Yeah. It's
God, could you imagine them, North Carolina, not only beating Coach K in his final game at Cameron, but also ending his career? Ending his career
and keeping him from playing for a national champion.
Lord have mercy.
It's not happening. Duke's winning.
Okay.
Well, but it's
Duke's
the
winning.
fact that you can say that with such certainty, doesn't that concern you?
Concern me about what?
Stuff.
Stuff. you mean that somebody's pulling the strings?
Yeah.
That there's a puppeteer?
I mean, does anybody else believe that it's?
I just feel like North Carolina's we didn't think Duke was especially good. Final Four good for sure.
They didn't look like it, but I think they do now.
Well, and also, as mentioned on this broadcast before, the West bracket was the weakest bracket. And it wasn't particularly close.
What's crazy is at this point, for everything that we talked about, for everything that's taken place over the last 2 weeks, you've got what? 2 1s, a 2 and an 8?
1 1.
1 1, 2 2s.
Yep, 2 2s.
And an 8.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
In the Final Four.
Yep.
And the 8 is North Carolina.
Correct.
I mean, this is as blue blood as it gets. Villanova, Kansas, Duke, and North Carolina. Are you kidding me? This is the most blue blood of blue blood Final Fours in the history of the tournament.
Kentucky instead of Villanova, and that would be the only.
Oh yeah.
But Villanova still. I mean,
for what they've done over the last 10 years or so,
they're in that blue blood category now.
Even their history before that. I mean, Villanova was good back in the day. I mean, historically, like way back. But
what's your reference for back in the day?
Well,
I'm curious.
I'm talking like pre-John Wooden, and then in the 80s and 90s, they were pretty good too.
Yeah.
They weren't going to Final Fours on a regular basis, but they were always.
They had gone to 3
basketball.
before. What's his name got there?
Raleigh Massimino.
No.
Before Jay Wright got there.
Jay Wright. They had only been to 3 before.
Right.
Final Fours.
But they were always.
Now Jay's taking them to 4.
Tournament, perennial, players in that. And I just think that as far as this tournament goes, this is the most blue blood Final Four I've ever seen. I cannot recall a more deep as far as his history. I mean, if UCLA or Kentucky being in other than Villanova would be the only way it gets better. So
Yeah, in terms of appearances in the
Right.
Final Four. And, Coach K now ties John Wooden for 13 Final Four appearances.
yeah,
It's amazing.
truly remarkable.
Villanova was in the Final Four in '85 when you had 3 Big East teams in the Final Four and Memphis State. back when they were
and
Memphis State.
That was Georgetown, Villanova, Memphis State. Who was the other? St. John's?
St. John's.
St. John's.
39, 71, 85, and then 09, 16, 18, and 22. Those are their Final Four appearances.
39.
I told you before John Wooden.
That's just back in the day. Yeah.
That's back in the day.
It's back in somebody's day.
Yep.
Shoot.
How many teams
Didn't
that's
say
in the
my
tournament?
day, I said the day.
Well, did they start with Final Four then in 39?
Only had 4 teams in the tournament
Yeah.
back then. But I mean, it's interesting that that we got to this point, and I'm not surprised. I mean, obviously Kansas routing Miami was not what Sarah predicted, but most everybody else was on board with that one.
Very similarly to Tennessee's bounce back after losing to Kentucky at Rupp. Kansas, since they lost to Kentucky at Allen Fieldhouse, has obviously turned things around.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Just lose to Kentucky.
There you
you'll
go.
Be all
Maybe
right.
that's what fixes you. Yeah. Yeah. So this should be an interesting grouping.
I mean, is there any chance that Villanova beats Kansas? I think there's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. There's a very good chance.
I think once you get to this point, anything can happen.
Yeah.
New Orleans have anything to do with it?
Meaning what?
I mean, just the obviously Duke, Kansas, and North Carolina, they're going to bring their people if it's in, Alaska. But I mean, the fact that it's in New Orleans and there's so much to do around the Final Four, it kind of speaks to a larger, more rowdy crowd, maybe.
Well, keep in mind that,
Not that
close to half or just under half of the seats are basically lottery seats. So, I mean, they're not necessarily from the fans' perspective. They're not allotted for that. So there'll be a ton of people in that building that don't have
with no rooting interest,
with no direct rooting interest here. Yeah. So, but to your point, yeah, those fans will find a way to get in the building.
Oh, there's no.
Yeah.
They're paying. Duke and North Carolina fans will pay all the money.
Oh, good Lord.
All the money.
Can you imagine?
All the dollars.
Kansas too. I mean,
Well, I'm talking just for that first game, though. I mean,
yeah.
You kidding me? That they will pay all
Well,
of the dollars.
They won't be the only ones. I mean, you saw who all showed up at Cameron Indoor for the final game there at home for Duke. I mean, tickets are going for over $5,000 for a regular season basketball game.
Regular season,
not
a tournament,
not the Final Four. So I mean,
we're talking about regular season.
Exactly.
I mean,
Thank you, AI.
You're talking a trip to the national title on the line. Anyway, I want to say that I'm proud of St. Peter's, and they have nothing to hold their heads about.
God. Yeah.
What a phenomenal run to the Elite Eight.
Oh,
first time
15
in history
ever made it that far. Yeah.
I mean, and thank you to them for making me some cash, even though I just had them losing by less than 13. I didn't even have the money line on them. If I'd had the money line on, I probably would have doubled my money.
Saw a post today. Shaheen Holloway has entered the transfer portal.
I bet he's fixing to make some money.
I hope so.
And the cool thing is he's awesome. He's just fun to watch as a coach. He's a guy that I would pay to watch coach. Marlon.
You made the comment as we were talking about mid-major guys taking high-major jobs. You can always come back. Steve Prohm, Murray State.
Oh,
Part 2. Yep.
There you go.
After falling a little short at Iowa State, he's back. So
good for him. You can always go back.
Yep.
Let's talk to Joe Rexrode. He'll join us on the other side of the break. Stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org, or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, where we do take on the sports topics that you care about with all of the best guests from around the country. And our next one is among those.
Well, he's not necessarily from around the country.
No.
It's just kind of in our backyard.
But he, well, I mean, that,
yeah,
which is in the country, technically. But
you just pulled a Mo on Mo.
Listen, he's gotten on me twice now about technicalities.
Yeah.
Twice.
That's good.
Well,
just pull up the mirror. Yeah, just pull up the mirror.
Joe Rexrode of the Athletics with us here on Main Street Sports Today. Joe, I'm going to try to keep you out of our ridiculousness and
I think
just get you in here. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm all about ridiculousness.
You're in the right place.
No question there.
Joe, we lost one Tennessee basketball team last weekend. We lost another one this weekend, and I think this one was probably a little bit more predictable. Is that fair to say?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. In fact, going in, even knowing that Kelly Harper's team had 2 home games to win to get to the second weekend, I still would have given the men's team a definite better shot at getting the second weekend than the women's team, just because Jordan Horston such a key part of everything they do. But I'll say, Mo, I thought obviously you can always look at things, some of these turnovers and little mistakes, but Louisville also forces a lot of that, and they put a lot of pressure on you. But I was pretty impressed for a lot of that game how they hung in there.
Full disclosure, I did not get to see the game because I was watching the high school all-star game over in Lebanon. But 76-64, the final there as top seed Louisville ends the season for number 4 seed Tennessee in the Wichita Regional. Like you said, they had some injuries that they had to deal with over the course of the season, but turnovers were an issue for this team all year. And then when you play against a Louisville team that plays as well defensively as they did, it was just in a matchup driven postseason, this probably wasn't a very good one for UT.
Yeah, just Louisville's defensive aggression. We know that Tennessee's had these turnover issues all year, so from that perspective, it wasn't great. And they definitely, they mixed it up, but at times they really turned on the pressure, and it bothered Tennessee some. It's like against a lot of teams though, when Tennessee was able to protect the ball and then especially get it inside. And it wasn't a great day for that because, Tamari Key did not have a lot of shots. Whenever she has a certain number of shots, like basically they don't lose this year. They hadn't lost much, She didn't get a lot of those, but they had some matchups in their favor too. It was a tough day for Alexis Dye, who has been so great during the postseason in particular. I think she's kind of stepped up and taken on some of the Jordan Horston responsibilities, but she's had a tough day, missing some shots she normally makes and turning the ball over and stuff like that. So I would definitely say, this game was an example of a speed difference, that the Tennessee could use a little bit more speed. Now they do have some freshmen who have that, and as they grow, I think that helps them. But I think next year's team probably will have more of that, and then they certainly can use that if they want to get deeper, which I think next year's team will have a chance to do.
When you look at this program as it sits, and I thought Kelly Harper's response to the question of if the Sweet 16 was the new standard, I thought her response was fantastic. She came to Tennessee as a player to win championships. She's there as a coach to win championships. And it feels like she has certainly taken the strides necessary in her short time to get this program back to that level in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I think from day one, which, she had to anticipate, but that's the question, and it's been a question for a long time. Like, when's it coming back? And it's a different landscape. It is. I mean, look, South Carolina, which I think is about to win the whole thing, is the new headlining program of this league. And this league is the best league, and it's loaded, and there's just more talent out there. And it's, you're going to have less dominance, which I think is great. But also, like, there's that, when is Tennessee going to come back? And I don't think it's ever going to be like it was. Again, I think that's a good thing for the sport. But no, there's any doubt. I mean, if you look at, 3 years of Kelly Harper, I think you definitely see steps toward being a champion, a team that can win an SEC championship, a team that can get to the Final Four. It looks, to me like there's it seems to me, and I have to say this, not having watched all of the Holly Warlick era, but it seems like there's a little bit more coherent plan, a little bit more emphasis on, how players will fit together rather than just bringing in talent. That's one thing that
or not bringing in talent,
or not bringing in talent, Joe, because if you are a UT fan, you're never going to get over the fact that Ryan Howard got out of Bradley Central High School, went by your campus to go to the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's a huge miss. I guess I still thought that Holly had very talented teams, but they just, some of her teams were. But, and look, we'll see. I mean, next year on paper, Tennessee, I think, has the ingredients to be, a top 10, maybe top 5 kind of team, but you don't know how it's all going to fit together. Rakia Jackson from Mississippi State, how's that going to work with Horston back? And like you mentioned the other day on Twitter, Mo, that, a Jazzy Powell from Minnesota, the point guard, Yeah, from Minnesota. It looks great, but we'll see. I mean, but it seems like so far Kelly Harper has been really good at identifying, what she wants all the way around in a player. Kean Green is an example of a really good find for her in the portal because you have to. I mean, sometimes it's obvious, like, yeah, the top scorer in the SEC, yes, but also, good role players who are going to be great in your locker room too. So we'll see, but it looks promising next year.
Joe, I want to talk to you and kind of switch gears. I'm not sure if we were really expecting to bring this up today, Joe, but it appears the governor of Tennessee has at least made his thoughts known on what the state would be willing to do to help the Tennessee Titans build a new stadium in Nashville. So have you seen the $500 million proposal that they put together?
Well, just what Nate Rao reported for Axios.com, and I have had some conversations since then. And I mean, obviously, this is not something that Governor Lee's doing in a vacuum. I mean, this is I think a plan, and I think this goes along with what the Titans have kind of concluded, which is, before my understanding was they weren't even thinking about something like this because of the funding question. I think a big part of, this, to simplify this, I read this as, you can have the new stadium and we're going to help, and then we're also going to benefit because it's going to be enclosed, and we're going to have Final Fours and national championship games, and we're going to have the biggest concerts now year round in Nashville, and so on and so forth. And, the hotels are going to be packed at all times, and there's going to be mixed use development around there as well, to make it worthwhile for more than just the Titans. So, but I think, once, and again, who knows how it all went down exactly, but I think Amy Adams Strunk was resolved to just, to just renovate because it was so costly to think about a new stadium, certainly a new enclosed stadium. The renovations turned out to be a lot more than they anticipated. That was the word from the Titans. And so here we are. And it looks like it's, I think something's going to happen tomorrow that 500,000 or 500 million will get added.
3 extra zeros,
budget.
Joe.
And yes, those zeros are very important. That's right.
Yeah.
And, and then I think you can see how it could, without knowing exactly everything else, you could see how it could come together. How much is what's the total price tag? I wouldn't expect there'd be a 2 in front of it, but it might be like 1.6 billion. I mean, how much did the NFL just give the Bills for theirs? They just gave the Bills a pretty good chunk. So there's another
1.4.
1.4 for the Bills. Yep. And that was open air.
But yeah, so that's the total cost. But then the NFL just voted to give them a certain amount, which I imagine the Titans are very much.
The NFL gave them $200
right?
million through the G4 loan program.
There you go. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and look, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I think as soon as the Titans leaked it to Nate, or I'm sorry, somebody leaked it to Nate a few weeks ago, it was pretty clear that this is the way they were going.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they wanted to do. And that is a change, and that is more appealing to the city. It just is. I mean, I believe that Nashville will, I don't think like we'll just get a Final Four, get a Super Bowl. I think we'll be in the rotation on these things now.
Well, it's funny you say that, Joe, because I was just getting ready to ask you: is it as simple as if Nashville gets an enclosed stadium that all of this stuff is going to follow? So your answer is yes.
I mean, I'd be absolutely shocked if it wasn't that simple, because from a from just in terms of the city as an event city, I mean, I look, it's been, I think Nashville has proved itself many times over now, and the draft was huge for that. Stanley Cup final, all that. You know, even the All-Star game before that, the hockey All-Star game. But when you look at Indianapolis, I've been to Indianapolis for many events because they got themselves to a great point. They've got a nice setup. It's a great walking city. They have the hotel rooms and all that stuff. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I think we blow them away as an event city. And we have a lot of the same advantages. So now that there are rooms that can actually, and there, I know they keep building them. They can't build them fast enough, but I think it will be that simple, Mo. I really do. I think Final Four. You know, I mean, right now I think Indy gets it about every 5 years. I would not be surprised to see us get it. I mean, if not that frequently, somewhat frequently. And then, you know, then it's like, do you get just like the occasional like championship game, or do you actually get into some kind of rotation with however it looks in the future? I don't know that answer, but I think Super Bowl too. I think the Super Bowl could be, that one's interesting because, you know, they still like it to be in more reliable warm weather spots if possible, you know, so maybe it would be a little bit more infrequent like Minneapolis, but I think it'll happen at least more than once.
Wow. Yeah. And I ask that, Joe, because of the folks here, JP and I are the only natives, and I grew up just outside of Nashville, obviously. And so to see Nashville on that stage being considered in that light is something that I just never would have anticipated, and even now living it's just a little stunning to hear that that's the way this city is regarded on a national radar, I guess. So I mean, I guess it's kind of cool as long as you don't have to drive down there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, well, maybe eventually every bachelorette party in the world will not come here, but then we'll get more sports stuff here. It'll be a win-win for everybody.
No doubt. No doubt.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Joe Rexrode.
Or maybe we'll just have it all.
Yeah. There we go. Joe Rexrode of The Athletic with us here on Main Street Sports today. We talked earlier, Joe, about the Final Four, the men's Final Four. What are your quick thoughts about that as we go out?
Well, it's wild. So I'm in I do like a family pool now. You know, we got like the kids all in it, but you know, we have all the nieces, nephews, and everything. So, it's amazing to think about the names in the Final Four: Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Villanova. Not one person in my pool has a champion a lot. And now maybe we're just a wacky family, but I don't know, man. It's a whole bunch of Zona and Gonzaga and some Kentucky and some Tennessee, and you know, it's kind of wild that even though it looks all of a sudden like we had this chalky Final Four, I don't know many people who are looking too good in their brackets right now. You know, it's kind of wild. So it's actually it's more of a surprising finish than it looks like, and then it'll probably be remembered as down the road. You know, but look, I mean, Villanova and you know, Villanova. It's like, I don't love watching teams that play that slow, but by God, they're so good and they're so solid. I mean, J-Rick's 20-3 since 2016 in this tournament. You could argue that's the best program right now in college hoops. Now, of course, they lose Justin Moore. I don't know. I keep thinking they're going to lose, and they don't. You know, Michigan misses a bunch of layups. Houston has, I mean, they're 1 from 20 from 3, and I mean, 10 of them were clean as you get, and they missed them all. You know, so maybe there's a little luck involved. I feel like Kansas, the way they played in the second half, that's a scary team. And then, yeah, look, I would not have picked Duke UNC as, I really want to see this. But now that we've got it, I'm intrigued.
There's no question.
UNC, I mean, UNC got to have a parade because they had sent, you know, they told Coach K to get out of here, buddy. in your face in their final meeting, and now, nope, he actually can
Now
get
it's not
revenge
their
on
final
you.
meeting.
That's
Yeah.
kinda fun. I mean, that's kind of fun, I must say. So, so I'm excited for it. I mean, look, I was hoping St. Peter's would continue. I can't believe still that they beat Purdue, and then it looked like yesterday all of a sudden they were a team that was playing with expectations, which is not what you want, because like you should still remember your St. Peter's and go play loose and free, and all of a sudden they're out there missing layups. But hey, I mean, North Carolina is playing great basketball right now. This is a great, especially those two teams, especially them. A great example of, you know, how teams can grow during a year, and you can't give up on a team even if they're just terrible in mid-January. If they can get in, they can get hot. Michigan being another pretty good example.
No doubt. Joe, thank you, man. We appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me. See you guys.
The Buffalo Bills, 30-year deal, $1.4 billion, 10,000 fewer seats than before, so 62,000. It's open air.
Open air in Buffalo.
Had to be for Buffalo, right?
They weren't going to have anything but they do have covered seats. So the seats will be covered, kind of like Seattle.
Okay.
$600 million from the state, $250 million from the county, $850 total $1 million. 61% of the cost would be the most public financing for any sports stadium in the history of the country.
Professional sports. Good.
So the Bills will only put $350 in. Less. If the Bills didn't put a dime in, it would still cost them more than $1 billion. That's ridiculous. Anyway, when we come back, we'll get our final thoughts of the day. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today. Final segment of this Reaction Monday, and we're going to react to as many topics as we can get in the next 5 minutes. So, JP,
all right,
hit us.
Of course, you guys contributed to some of these, so we'll start with those. Tampa Bay, the news of Outback. No more bloomin' onion or coconut shrimp.
It's the end of an era.
Yeah, it is the end of an era. I mean, that was always, whichever team, each team was a.
SEC was the bloomin' onions.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten was the
coconut shrimp.
And whichever one won,
you got
the country got a free appetizer of one of those. So that's gone now. In any chance that Tampa does not maintain the bowl status without a title sponsor?
Oh,
It's Tampa,
I
right?
feel like they'll get a title sponsor.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could, but do they need it? No. I mean,
Well, it depends on the.
here's the thing: you're not going to make it the Ticket Smarter Bowl, right? It's going to have to be somebody like big enough that it makes sense.
Well, it's a New Year's Day bowl.
I think as long
That's
as
what I'm
somebody writes a check, I don't know that how much sense it makes matters. I mean, you've got the Barstool Bowl, right?
But
yeah, the Jimmy
That's
Fallon
'cause-
Bowl.
that's 'cause
I mean,
they
the
own
Jimmy
it.
Kimmel Bowl.
right, but those aren't on New Year's Day. That's what
It's
I'm
true.
saying. This is the SEC and the Big Ten. You're not going to have, you're not going to have somebody that's, just Joe Schmo down the street. I mean, it's going to have to, and that the reason being is because it's going to be a big check they're going to have to write.
Right.
So it's not going to be the Weed Eater Bowl or anything. It's going to be somebody with some, the Tesla Bowl or something. The Tesla Tampa Bay Bowl.
There you go.
That could work.
Right?
could
It
work.
actually sounds pretty good.
That could work.
Are there any other bowls that you wish had different names
All of them, except the
except the big ones?
Well, except
Citrus
the big-
Bowl, Fiesta Bowl.
yeah, and
Remember
and
the
those.
Citrus Bowl wasn't the Citrus Bowl, Capital One Bowl or whatever it was.
Mhm.
Well, it was the Citrus Bowl first.
That's what I'm saying. You remember when it wasn't the Citrus Bowl?
Yeah, Citrus Bowl, then the Capital One. But what is it? It's back to the Citrus
It's
Bowl
the
now.
Capital One Citrus Bowl.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They just added Citrus back.
Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl
Is
went from the Peach Bowl to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl to the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Now it's back to the Peach Bowl presented by Chick-fil-A,
correct, as it should be.
as it should be. Yes, the Peach Bowl.
Here's the one that number one, Texas.
The Texas Bowl.
Why is it not the Blue Bonnet Bowl?
Is it in Houston?
It's the same. It's just literally the same thing.
I don't know what. I don't know where Blue Bonnet went.
We got to bring that back.
I'd agree.
It's a good name. Yeah.
Anyway,
Blue
that's
Bonnet?
the
It
only
was
one.
the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl because it was in the Astrodome.
Are they going to change the Liberty Bowl since the Liberty Bowl no longer exists?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Being
the AutoZone Liberty Bowl could now.
The
'cause
AutoZone Bowl.
do they have the? Because the
because
Liberty
the
Bowl-
stadium,
the
right?
stadium is no longer known as the
It's
Liberty
not the
Bowl.
Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium anymore.
No, it's you got a naming rights. It's
Oh.
like the
Huh.
AutoZone Stadium or some stupid crap. I don't remember.
Why would you do that to yourself?
We talked
don't
about
know.
this not too long ago. The Liberty Bowl is Simmons Bank Memorial Stadium.
Oh, I think it's
Simmons.
still going to be the Liberty Bowl, the game.
Well, I hope so, and it's also going to be the Liberty Bowl. You're not. Well, we're going to go to Simmons Bank.
No,
You're
not
going to the
happening.
Liberty Bowl.
no.
We're going. To
Well, it turned into that was the name of the bowl, not the stadium you were going to.
That's what it. I mean, a lot of these were named because of the stadium's
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Cotton Bowl, etc. But
Mhm.
I mean, me and you talking. If I said we were going to go to Memphis this weekend and go to a game at the Liberty Bowl,
You know where you're going.
I'm not going to say we're going. Hey, let's go to Simmons Bank Memorial
No.
Stadium this weekend and catch a football game. I'm sorry, where
Where? What? No.
is that in Alaska?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like in TSSAA, people when they win the region, they go to the sub-state, is what they call it, not the sectional round. It's a sub-state. That's what people call it.
Mhm.
So that hadn't changed. I mean, people
Those
are going
of
to call
us
it
of
what
a
they want to call
certain
it.
a certain
Yeah.
age. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They were going to call it what they want to call it. So
Anyway,
that's a good question, though. I mean, Memphis is a decent place for a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So, they could have some options. The Rendezvous Bowl. Hello.
I like it. I like it.
I'm here for that.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. What you got?
The
All right.
Rendezvous Dust Bowl.
Yeah, there you go. Real quickly, the news that Albert Pujols is going to the Cards.
What with the DH? Why not?
Yeah.
Well, because he can't run. I mean, you're going to pinch run for him whenever he gets on base.
Was he valuable last year for the
Ish.
Dodgers? I mean,
Not really.
I didn't think so.
I think this is just this
Come
is a
back
Phil
for a year.
Necro issue.
come back for a year
So he
and,
could
and
retire as a
retire
Cardinal.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what this is,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And he's probably not
He
going to play
deserves
every
that.
day. Absolutely.
he deserves that.
does he though? I mean, if he's not productive, if he's taking up space that someone could be in and be more productive, does he deserve that? Does the Cardinal fan base want to see that?
It may only be for a short time.
You can't not keep. You can't like you. He has to retire. You can't cut him.
Oh, with the idea that he comes back and plays a couple of games.
Why does Albert Pujols deserve this? He left.
I'm just saying. You still can't cut it.
I guess deserve is saying that
he hit 38 home runs last year for the Dodgers.
Not 38? They weren't all for the Dodgers.
Okay, but he played 24.
Between the Angels and the Dodgers.
He played 24 games for the Angels.
Is that all?
12 home runs. He hit 26 in the National League.
Really?
That's pretty productive.
Pretty good.
It's more productive than I thought he was. I didn't think he was either.
Right?
But
how many games? 26.
85. And 85.
He had 26 home runs in 85 games?
Yes.
That's a home run every 3 games, right?
That's pretty good.
It's
efficient.
If you can't run, best thing to
hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Best thing to do is trot, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Stroll. Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right. That's about it based on time, but it was bowl games are always interesting to discuss.
It is.
Always interesting. And real quickly, since talking with Joe Rexrode about what the city would get, assuming that the stadium deal happens with the dome and such, how does that affect the Music City Bowl? And does that now move up into, and I think he kind of alluded to a little bit, but with the unknowns of what the future of college football is going to be from a playoff perspective. But Nashville, I think, firmly will plant itself in the discussion of a potential playoff rotation, right?
You would think.
What do you think?
Well, that would be in the championship rotation, but I don't think the Music City Bowl is going to be in the New Year's 6.
It could. Well, if it changes, though, that's what I'm saying. Depending on what happens, if they could get in that rotation.
I guess it's possible.
I mean, as a site, Nashville's just as good as the rest of them.
That's what I'm saying. I think you would see the championship game come here. I don't think the Music City Bowl is going to be in the New Year's 6. The New Year's 6 are kind of set. I don't think anybody
in the current climate of what the playoff system is. But when that changes, that could change.
The only one that it could replace is maybe the Peach Bowl. And
I'm not saying replace. I think there's just more of them.
The New Year's 7
or 8. I mean,
I guess it's possible.
You have set playoff sites.
If the playoffs expand, I guess it's possible.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it replaces one, but I think it definitely added to it.
All right. Come back tomorrow. We'll have Chip Walters to react to the MTSU Lady Raiders win or lose.
We will also have Wes Rucker of 24/7 Sports to talk about the top-ranked University of Tennessee volunteer baseball team.
Wes had a tweet
one
yesterday or the day before that I just thought was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't remember what it was. I'll have to go look it up, but it was.
You need to tee it up for tomorrow.
Hilarious when I saw it. But he also, he's a great interview for sure because he's a goofball. So
he is.
All right,
he'll fit right in.
Come tomorrow, Chip Walters, Wes Rucker, and more reactions to all the things happening in sports from around the world here on Main Street Sports Today.